Hello, my name is Arthur, and in the last video we got it so that we can do a little bit of highlighting so we can highlight search results. And yeah, in this video we're going to move forward. We're going to deal with making it case sensitive and also make it so that the search results disappear when the bar disappears. More or less we'll get ourselves on the brink of doing whole word so that we can put whole word into its own video, because that one's kind of hard and will make it for a very long video if we try to do it all in one. So in this video we'll just deal with getting in case sensitive. Now down in make the search bar, so make search function, I've added in the signals for the two toggle buttons. So we have the two signals right here and right here. They're calling a function called get case sensitive. So basically what it does is it will send the button to the function. So those two functions are already in place, and we'll have a look at those. That way we don't have a really long video to get where we're going, and we can sort of bite these down into more reasonable length videos. So we have the two functions. They both do exactly the same thing, just for different buttons. Now they return a G Boolean, so that way we can call these functions to find out the values of the buttons. And when the Boolean is returned at signal time, it's just discarded. It's a discarded value. So we put two static Booleans to hold whether the toggle button is enabled or disabled. When it gets called by the signal, it sends a button. So if there's a button, it's going to reset the static Boolean by GTK toggle button get active. So if the button is active, it returns true. If the button is inactive, it returns false. Then we're able to call this function to get that value returned. So when we call the function, we'll put in a null, so it doesn't try to look for the button or do anything. It just returns the static Boolean. And because it's static, it doesn't come in and out of scope. It holds even though we've exited that scope. So the same thing with case sensitive. So now we have a way to test in our search function if we're looking for something case sensitive or whole word. So whole word, that's rather difficult, and it has to happen in while, and there's a number of checks that have to be done, because the search flags alone, they will not do it. They can't tell certain things because certain things are ignored in the texted or forward search. So something like this, for example, with an underscore at the end of it, or a digit at the end of it, would still come up with, no matter what flag we used, it'll still highlight that word regardless of the underscore or regardless of a digit. And we don't want it to do that, because the idea is to get it to search in a way that is more functional for a script editor, where an underscore is part of a name. It can be part of an identifier. Whereas a bracket, it's fine for the function to ignore a bracket because it's not part of a name or an identifier. So if it's part of an identifier, we need it to be able to tell the difference between a bracket and Well, we need it to be able to be sensitive to the underscore and the number. So that takes a little bit more than what case sensitive takes. So what we'll do is we'll put in place case sensitive. So we're going to go if get case sensitive. So that's the function that is used by the signal to set the value and can be called to get the value. So get case sensitive, we have to send it a null. So if it's case sensitive, we'll just change the flag. Because with this one, we can just change the flag. So we'll go flag equals GTK text search visible only, and then we'll fix all the spelling problems there. I think that's right, and I think that needs to be an underscore. So that will just change the search parameters so that it's not case insensitive anymore. And it will only search visible text, which is all we're going to have anyways. So we'll save that. Let's try to compile it. That compiles. And now we should be able to toggle case sensitive. I've also made it so that when we toggle the buttons, if we look right here in the case sensitive, when we toggle the buttons, it's going to call search text. So it's going to search the text and correct for the change. So it will be active. So we'll open up the search bar. We'll just type in GTK. It's got things that are capitalized, things that are not. So we'll make it case sensitive. Now it's only got ones that are in lowercase, like the search parameter calls for. So that works. The thing to get going now is so that things disappear when we close the search bar, and that's really easy. So we'll get these easier ones out of the way. There's two very difficult ones coming up. The whole word is very difficult, and then I'm a little bit stuck on one where we can type in the field and have it change. Now, if I'm searching for something here, so I have GTK and well, let's say I have return. So we have it whole word. So it's looking at whole word. If I type a 9 beside it, the editor is able to tell that I typed something, but our search is not going to be able to tell that. So that's one of the hard ones that I'm trying to figure out here. So let's close that. See the search highlight disappears, so that's what we want to happen to. So where we would do that is we do that every time we call search text. So we can copy that out, and when we hide the search bar, we can paste that into here. So now when we hide this search bar, it's going to delete all of the tags. So that should get it doing what we want it to do 2 steps forward. And the last one will be whole word, and we'll have to do that in another video because that's a bit more of a chore. Whoops. Let's load up our test document. We'll get search and replace up. So now we have it. We can turn it case sensitive. That works. And when we close the bar, nothing is highlighted anymore. So that gets us the next step along the way. And yeah, the last step would be whole word and figuring out how to make it sensitive to typing inside of the text view. I don't know, maybe we can use the signal changed on the text buffer and see if we can get it to work that way. Something along those lines. So hopefully I can figure that out and get whole word and make the actual text view active as responding to the search parameters if we're to change a keyword inside of the text view in a way that it should no longer be highlighted, that it would stop being highlighted. So yeah, that's it for this video. I hope it was helpful, and until the next video, take care.